Good day, lords and ladies, and welcome to something that me and my friend here have been waiting to do for a long time. Welcome to, well, I suppose I should allow my colleague here to introduce himself and explain what we're going to do. Why don't you introduce yourself, Deforex?
Sure, so it's David Fuchsia here, and the game we'll be playing is Children of Morta. And this has been a game that's been on our radar for a while, but it didn't actually have online, matchmaking or anything like that for a little bit. So, well, it finally has it, and now we're finally playing it together.
Yes, indeed. We've been waiting a long time to do this. So we're going to do normal difficulty. We're going to dive right in. Let's have a look at this lovely prologue.
And yes, it's worth knowing this prologue is forced, so only one person basically playing through the prologue, so I'm basically having to wait here for one person to get through it.
Yeah. Not gonna lie, dude. Like the prologue is pretty loud. They may not have you over the sound of the exploding mountain.
Margaret awoke,
I'm not sure, but I believe
startled,
the audio settings
a
is
cold sweat clinging to her. She gathered her thoughts.
It is worth knowing that this is a fairly immersive game, so be bedazzled, I guess, was what we'll basically say here.
Indeed.
Aged wood creaked, echoing through the quiet rooms. Near the house stood a shrine to Rhea Dana, goddess and daughter of the land, of Rhea and a being of comfort. Margaret sought answers. But the goddess did not speak. There was only the faint whisper of something dark, something hungry. The old seer's bones felt the weight of their age as she climbed. The only thought on her mind, has it begun again?
Gotta say, the intro is nice.
It is. They did a lot of good job on, good
John's mission
game.
is a simple one.
You'll probably note that,
He
the best
was
thing
to
is,
investigate
this intro is,
Rhea's
really good,
greatest
shrine.
shrine.
Access like that, even though it's all in pixel art, for example.
Yeah.
His mother presented him with a fresh divinity shard.
They also did a fairly good job explaining how to play the game as well.
Indeed.
From his brother came a newly sharpened sword. His wife gave him a kiss, and his daughter's hugs were full of reason to return home safe.
Okay, so we're into the game. So what I'm going to do really quickly is I am just going to fiddle with the audio settings. Because everything is a bit loud and I want to hear my Canadian co-host much better.
That sounds like a plan.
Yeah, and it's turning up my headset volume for a second. Right, speak to Forax. Speak!
Speak!
Yes, we can hear that beautificent Canadian tune of yours. Right, so here we go. So standard SAWD key movement for any kind of roguelite game. Let's go.
Very into the game for that matter.
Indeed. Unless you're playing something that's just mouse controlled.
I haven't seen one of those games for a long while.
A land long forgotten. A place
I
of
think it was last week.
unimaginable
Yeah.
beauty.
I guess we'll explain a couple of things by the way while we're just going along here. So I guess you're basically right into Prologue and you're playing with like a swordsman.
Yes, I am playing as the father.
So it's worth knowing that there's basically this family that we're gonna be playing with, and we basically start off with like the father who's basically got a shield and a sword, and we'll basically cycle through a bunch of different characters for like this game, but he'll be the first one to play with here.
Yes.
He'll also probably be one of the easier ones to play with as well, so you'll see him probably a lot.
Indeed. I have... Myself and DeFurx have played... Ooh, here comes the first source of the corruption.
Creatures, small and vile.
Right, yo, left mouse button to attack. But yes, me and DeFurx we did a little bit of play testing just to see how it would work multiplayer-wise. It works well. As always, playing games halfway across the world always has its drawbacks.
I believe this game is also peer-to-peer, so
Yeah.
there's no server we're basically connecting to play. We're gonna be playing, we're gonna be connecting to each other basically for it.
Yeah, pretty much. Come on, you little beasties. Taste the wrath of my blade. One thing we should also mention, this game actually is quite a... don't go into it thinking this is going to be like Diablo style, like hack and slash. You actually have to be aware of what you're doing. It is quite a challenging game.
Basically, tactics are important.
Yes. Tactics are important.
And knowing your character for that matter.
Indeed.
I should probably note this for playtime experience for this game. I have already played already through it, so I actually know what all the game content is basically all about. I don't believe that's the same for Cornish here though.
No, it is not. I know the general theme of it and how sort of the length of it from reviews on YouTube.
It's also probably worth pointing out that for the first few episodes, we're gonna be taking quite a bit of time to sort of power up because this is a very much a very hard roadblock game at the start.
Yeah, it reminds me very much like the Binding of Isaac in a way, which is that when you first get your character in Binding of Isaac, it's considered to be very hard for you to actually progress unless you lose.
Impeding further progress.
Ooh,
And then after you play a little bit and get some upgrades, you start to snowball a little.
yeah, pretty much. It's the more stuff you unlock, the easier the game becomes. So just hacking through these basic enemies. These corrupted are your sort of bread and butter of a lot of the sort of repeated enemies that you meet. You'll have area-dependent enemies, but the corruption is one of the few enemies that will always turn up.
Yep. And it starts to get worse and worse as you go along, but you always have the basic guys there.
Abated,
Yeah.
leaving the shard cold in hand, dark, in need of life.
So we purged the corruption with our shard. Our shard is now dead. I do love the narration. The narration in this game is very good.
Well, that's why I want to play this game. It's basically a high-quality pixel art game.
Yeah, it really is. Okay, so gemstones. Graded chests require gemstones to open. So we harvest them from
The
locations
shard
and bodies,
grew warm, humming softly from the
Yep.
harness
and then we
gate.
can use them to open
The
chests.
shard grew warm.
I'll note that later in the game you can also use them for buying in the shop as well, so
Yes.
they're dual purpose.
And we got a powerful relic, Divine Grace. A powerful item that adds you with a buff. I cannot remember how we see our character sheet again, but hey ho.
It should be on your bottom left, I believe it is. There's all the abilities right there.
Yeah, but it doesn't. I hover over it and it doesn't actually tell me anything.
Ah, that's in your level up screen.
Before him
Yeah.
was now one more dangerous than those that came
You'll get to see
before.
that soon enough. I believe everything's sort of locked until you actually get to it, so
Yeah.
it's very tutorial-y.
I'm fighting an elite enemy now. Skill points. Gain XP as you kill your enemies. When reaching a certain amount of XP, you'll gain skill points. You can use skill points to upgrade your abilities in the skill tree. Press tab at any time to open your skill tree.
And there you go. Now you have your character overview.
Yep. So this is how we do it. Skill points, gain a skill point when you gain XP. Skill points, learn new skills. Yeah, so it's basically your general description. Skill abilities, description can be seen on the right of the panel. Press space on the available skill to learn it. Okay, yeah, we've got to accept the basic. It's doing the basic skill that you need to pick up. Okay, skill tree.
Are you seeing the skill tree there, Cornish?
Heaven's Strike.
Well, it's basically like doing that, I guess. I'll note that basically the skill tree here is basically broken up into levels, and you can see those on, I believe, the left of the side here.
Yep.
And essentially, like, as Cornish will gain levels with his character, he'll be able to unlock more stuff with like his, like, character.
Yeah. One thing you have to learn about this game, folks, is that it's not like in some other RPGs games where you can sort of pick and choose your abilities. Most of your actual core abilities are locked behind levels. So you have to progress up to a certain level to get access to certain abilities.
I believe also have to invest in, like, abilities basically for each level. So you can't just, like, go wait, like, 3 levels and start investing in the top tier to at least have to get the, the initial ones first too.
Yes, indeed.
If I recall.
Okie dokie. Just killing off these goblins.
Yep, that's fine.
Indeed.
Magnificent, but dangerous. A land of love found and of love lost.
I get the feeling we're not too far from the end of the tutorial.
Have you got the daughter with you yet?
Not yet, no.
That's when you know when you're near the end.
Before him was sacred ground.
I'm getting the next relic.
Untouched.
And it's kind of funny because this is essentially a single-player game where you can basically play by yourself. But in the tutorial, they actually have like an AI bot follow you around, so it's like, why didn't they have that in the main game?
Maybe they will at some point. Oh no, I've just picked up my daughter.
Before him stood Linda.
They actually do have competent AI for the characters too, so...
Bow and quiver at the ready, determined to do her part.
I suppose the reason they give her as an AI now is to allow you to experience what her abilities are like. Okay, create a temporary aura to damage nearby enemies. So I got that, basically that buff item. The one that I can activate to buff myself.
I'll note that the items that we pick up, by the way, they like come in 2 flavors.
Yeah.
Or 3 flavors, I believe. There's like ones that basically you can activate like items. There's others that are sort of like, aura items that are always on. And then there's one that sort of buff your skills.
Indeed.
And sometimes they have costume as well, besides like, just like, being used up.
Yeah, they have this. The one I'm currently using has a downtime on it. And we're getting into the heart of the corruption.
Before the Guardians were not beasts feeding, but monsters consuming, destroying others. They corrupted and distorted, creating even more hungry husks.
Here we go. Yeah, the father is actually a really straightforward character to play, folks. If you want a character that's easy to sort of learn how to use, your best bet is to go with the swordsman and the sword and shield user, who is the father.
The Archer isn't that bad either, by the way.
Yeah, he's not bad.
In like comparison to the Archer here, by the way, it's worth knowing the Archer is very much your typical, is like, fire and like forget sort of character, so he just fires and runs away. And yes, you can basically kite with her to like no end to like win the game if you want to. So you can do that too.
Their hearts heavier than before. How would they explain what they had witnessed?
There will be more characters though, and they all have their own perks and such.
Indeed. That's the pro. Back to the house.
The ancient
You're not in the
tree
house.
had been cut down. Together, father
We'll
and
probably
daughter
like end it here, but
described
before
the
we go, I guess you want to look around the
horror,
house there first there, Cornish?
dripping with
Yeah, I'll have a quick
decay
look
that
around.
slithered into
There
bodies
should be like a
stuck
circle if you
between life
look
and
around carefully, I
death
believe,
to
and you can
bolster
click on to
their
basically get some like
ranks.
little dialogue and intro from the family, I
Grandma
guess.
Margaret
We're
had
basically following.
confirmed what they all feared. It was the corruption. A cruel entity spoken of only with hushed voices.
It's worth knowing this game is very lore
Ocean
heavy.
of darkness
Yeah.
that flowed from the top.
Which is not a bad thing at all.
Morta. And the Bergsons' duty was to stand against this devouring deluge of death. Kevin was also eager to do his part in the family's fight, especially when his older brother Mark was off somewhere. He was as much a guardian of their mountain home as any of them. She stood. If they were to reach the summit and destroy this evil, as the Bergsons of old had done in the past, they would need the assistance of the sanctuary. Given to the Bergsons by Rhea herself, the sanctuary was a gateway to the mysterious lands around the mountain. Margaret pointed to the huge crystal at the center of the den, revealing their next task: to activate it and open the way to the source of the corruption. And once Rhea's 3 spirits are gathered on the grounds, the only gate to the top of Mount Morta will open in this chamber. By himself, or with the assistance of those who loved him, John needed to gather the 3 spirits from their lands. Without them, he would not be able to stem the flow of the corruption.
Okay. You can access online play options by pressing E at any time. You can go back up to the house, caves, okay. Just gonna have a look around the house, be right with you, Deforex.
Yep, no worries, take your time. Might as well just like show off everything before we like get to the next part.
Okay. The corruption seems even worse than the crow that took those chicken chicks. Or bird chicks. Okay, so let's have a look around. This is one thing that you would expect for your character to run about, but it's not. You just have to sort of explore with the mouse.
Well, technically in the house, we're not really playing with any character specifically.
Yeah, true. There's the library. Go in the kitchen.
It's worth knowing that as like Cornish basically like fumbles around here in the house. But this will basically change as we like go along in the game.
Yeah.
And like stuff will basically happen, so like we pick up more stuff, or like people join us and such.
Yeah, I will say that there's a lot of lore, so unless, I doubt that the Furex and myself will read through all of the lore, just because it just takes so long, so I'm just showing it off on screen, like the backgrounds of the different characters.
We'll show off the cutscenes, and that's probably about it.
Yeah, to be honest.
So a lot of it is worth knowing. A lot of it is like sort of voiced over anyway, so
yeah. But what I'm just doing is I'm just showing off, for those who are interested who can pause and scroll down, showing off the background to the different Bergsons, and that's it. There's nothing else I can really interact with, so I suppose... How do you want to do this? Do you want me just to basically...
I'll make this an episode and we'll start a new one.
Yeah, but press... Do you want your main... Because you can access online play options in the online tab by pressing E, which is basically... Do you want me to press that? Do you want me to put a cut in here now, and then I press E?
Yeah, putting a cut in now, we'll set it up basically for people after that.
Rightio, folks. Well, this will be episode 0 for Children of Mortis, and the first proper episode will begin next time. I've been Cornish-knight. This has been my fantastic co-host, Deforex.
Hey ho!
And we shall see you all next time, folks. Goodbye. Please like and subscribe. I will have a link to the Fuax's channel in the description below. It helps us both a lot, especially during these times. And I will see you all in a minute. Goodbye.